Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time is going to be on Saw 10, or Saw X. Well, it's the 10th installment, so I'm just going to call it Saw 10. Now, in this film, we follow Jigsaw, or John Kramer, as he is going through surgery to try to get his cancer treated. And when he does, it turns out that something happened during his cancer that wasn't actually what he expected. So from there, he plays a little game with the people that tended to treat him. And just like every other Saw movie, it's a massive festival of insane, torture devices and people getting killed in very disturbing ways. So yeah, needless to say, this franchise will never end. Everybody, all of us thought that it was going to end with Saw the Final Chapter or Saw 7 or Saw 3D, but it didn't. And honestly, that might be a good thing because the ending to that movie was absolutely terrible. And I won't lie, Jigsaw I didn't think was that bad. And Spiral from the Book of Saw I thought was just alright, though I will lie, Chris Rock definitely isn't the type of actor that should be in horror movies. Some people often forget that the very first Saw is one of the least violent in the franchise. I mean, yes, it certainly did have its moments of gore, but it was a lot more of a crime film rather than just being a flat-out slasher film. Like, it had mystery to it, and with James Wan's terrific direction to that film, it was really hard for another Saw movie to top that one, because I feel like Saw is just, nothing but just a bunch of, gore blown into your face with crazy amounts of death traps. And yes, they are creative, but really though, Saw, it just mostly feels the same. But I am not gonna lie, this is probably the best film in the series since the first one. Like, I am shocked at how good that the movie was. Like, granted, it does have the typical cliches you would see in Saw. When it comes to the traps, it is obvious that the person is going to get killed even though they are trying really hard to survive it. But what's really cool about this movie is that Jigsaw, or John Kramer, is the main character throughout this entire thing. The first 30 minutes are a bit slow, and it opens a little bit differently than how we would most see Saw movies. I'm not going to get into spoilers, but really the way this movie plays out, it made me like Jigsaw a lot more than I already did, because apparently this explains a lot more on why Jigsaw does what he does, like sets up all these traps for people to get brutally tortured in trying to escape, but failing miserably at them. Like, it honestly made a whole lot of sense. Like, the middle part is pretty much what you expected to see from a Saw movie, but really though, I feel like in terms of the last 30 minutes, Saw also has there are moments of Saw that definitely have some twists and turns to them, and I'm not trying to make a pun because the production company for this franchise is Twisted Pictures. This franchise definitely has some twists. Like, of course, the first movie had a major twist, and there's a twist to this one too, and I found it I'm not sure how I would describe it. It's honestly really hard to predict what happens in these movies, except for, people getting killed, because when it comes to most of these traps, like I mentioned before, people are gonna fail them. So yeah, they shouldn't even bother trying. But really though, it's the fact that Tobin Bell manages to succeed at his role in all these movies, even in the bad ones. And most of the Saw films tend to be mediocre or just flat out bad, but Tobin Bell, I cannot deny how good he is in these movies, and he really stands out in this role. The movie just goes from being, 30 minutes of just not what you expect from a Saw film, and then it just completely changes everything, though it does have what you expect. So, for fans of the franchise, it definitely has what you would expect from a Saw movie. And as for the traps themselves, they tend to be a bit familiar, but there are some that I found really unique, like the one with the eyes, the one that's in the poster. But really though, what made this entire thing for me was, Jigsaw being the protagonist of this whole thing, and it made me understand a lot more on why he does what he does throughout these movies. And they might have, brought that up in other movies, but I just couldn't remember, because the only one that I truly found memorable was the first Saw. But after seeing this one, it definitely does feel like there's more memorable films to this franchise. I did not think that there would ever be like another truly good Saw movie, but I feel like they managed to make one here. In the end, guys, Saw X was a huge surprise. Like, it could have just ended with Saw 7, but I'm glad it didn't, because if it did, then we wouldn't have gotten another truly good installment, and we haven't had like a truly good installment in a really long time. I can't necessarily say that it's better than the first film, just due to the fact that that film just had so much iconic moments that I wouldn't really say that there was necessarily a time where I feel like that there is going to be a very iconic moment to this entire thing, but really though, in terms of it being a Saw movie, it definitely has all the gore that you would expect, and in terms of a character-driven movie with a really solid protagonist, which was already a great antagonist, then I feel like they managed to succeed at that as well. So yeah, guys, if you're a fan of this franchise and you really don't care if you know, some of the movies are bad, then yeah. But still, if you're a humongous fan of this franchise, then chances are this film isn't going to disappoint you. If you're not really a fan of the franchise, then this probably isn't for you, because like I said before, Saw definitely isn't for everyone. But as for me, I mostly enjoyed the character-driven stuff rather than the gore stuff. But really though, I feel like the movie manages to mostly succeed at both. Yes, I will be seeing The Creator, so don't worry, I will have a review for that. So yeah, but anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Ward out.